current status, it is probably about 6 o'clock and we're waiting out a thunderstorm that's passing by. I'm hoping it passes by in time that we can go fly tonight. I don't know if it's gonna happen. If we don't get to fly tonight, I'll just roll into tomorrow morning and we'll do a nice morning flight. But today I have an interesting topic I wanna talk about. When you're getting into paramotoring, there's 3 big purchases that I think a lot of people look at. First, the paramotor, the part that you wear on your back. Second, the wing, the part that keeps you in the sky. And third, most importantly in my opinion, is training. But today I want to talk about 5 things, accessories in particular, that keep you safe. Before we get into that, the big giveaway with Team Fly Halo has been concluded, and a lot of you guys already know the result from watching Instagram, but I want to summarize the winner right now. All right, so the big Team Fly Halo giveaway, to summarize, we gave away a Scout Carbon Paramotor along with training with Team Fly Halo. It concluded on the 11th, and we did the big drawing on the 14th. So this is how it played out. Here we go, spin the wheel, and who do we have? Oh, I suck at pronouncing names. Michael Autenreif.
Okay, so now we're gonna call Michael. So Michael, we hope you're there. So if Michael doesn't answer. Oh, Michael.
Hey Michael, this is Canyon with Team Fly Halo. You want a shiny new Scout and training in February. Yeah, you might try to get a hold of us to get that thing if you get a minute.
We announced the winner, we called him up on the phone and got a voicemail. Called him up again, nothing. Sent an email, nothing. So we started to get a little bit worried. In the rules, it says that the winner has 24 hours to respond in order to claim the prize. Time went on and we started to realize that this guy might not get back to us in time. 24 hours in, we gave him one last shot, called him up, and still got no response. So Team Fly Halo did another live stream, we did another drawing. All right, so in an unexpected twist, we are back for drawing number 2. Let's see who it is. And the new winner is Carrie Hill.
Carrie.
Yes.
This is Canyon with Team Fly Halo. Did you enter a contest to win that paramotor? We're checking in with all the entries.
Yeah, I did.
Guess what? You won.
No way.
Yes, sir.
Hey!
Woo! Congratulations, buddy.
No way.
Yeah, way.
Oh my God. Holy. This can't be real, man. This can't be happening.
It's happening, buddy.
Holy crap.
All right. Well, congratulations again. We'll let that settle in. All right. We'll chat you up later and we'll get some details. And yeah, just call the number I just called you on with any questions.
So big congratulations to Carrie. Going back to our first winner, Michael, somewhere around 30 hours after we announced that he was the winner, he got back to myself and Canyon from Team Fly Halo. And Michael was a very good sport. Team Fly Halo was cool enough to offer him a prize as well, and I myself am gonna send him a bunch of merch for being such a good sport. Aside from all that, let's go see what the weather's doing. All right, so as it turns out, last night the thunderstorms carried on basically right up until sunset, so I decided to wait until the next morning. I just drove out to this park and I drove in and out of fog the whole way, trying to find a site that wasn't fogged in. Right now, this one's looking good. So it's gonna be beautiful. The sun is just coming up. I'm gonna get geared up. We'll take off and we'll talk about 5 different life-saving, potentially accessories for your paramotor.
That's insanely epic. Well, we sure do have some sick visuals for this flight. Alright, let's start out with number 1. On my list of accessories that may save your life in the paramotoring world, this one may seem extraordinarily obvious, but believe it or not, some people just don't use it. And that's a helmet, what I've got on my head right now. Believe it or not, I've heard people use the argument that, well, you're flying a paramotor. If you fall from 2,000 feet, a helmet's not going to save you. And it's about the stupidest argument I've ever heard. Of course a helmet's not going to save you if you fall from 2,000 feet, but that's not what it's designed for. I mean, it's obviously designed for lower impacts to save your head. And some examples would be, let's just say you're coming in for a landing and you overshoot, you go a little too far and you crash into a fence. Or another good one, I just took off on asphalt, but it applies to grass as well. You're inflating your wing, you're running forward, and you add power too quick and you slam yourself on the ground. Happens a lot. You might bounce your head off the concrete, and having a helmet would be a really good thing to have in that situation. Aside from the obvious benefits of like lower impact stuff, making a mistake and falling down, there's two other things that are good to think about why wearing a helmet is just a smart thing to do. One, it's a perfect mounting spot for GoPro cameras. If anything else, if you're not worried about saving your own head, you probably want to record your flights, and I think the best way to do that and get the perspective of what you're seeing is with a helmet cam. Another beautiful point of the helmet is its ear protection. Well, I just climbed up to this altitude, and albeit extremely beautiful, it's surprising how strong the winds are coming from this direction. I can see the fog actually slipping down below me. Alright, number 2 on my list is the power float. And what is a power float? It's essentially a life preserver that will automatically deploy, designed for your paramotor. There's a couple different types. The one I've always used is the dual type. There's 2 separate units. They have their own CO2 cartridge, their own little activation device, and you mount them on the left and right side of your motor. It's been said that water is the #1 killer of paramotor pilots, like crashing into it, getting tangled in your lines, sinking and drowning. I don't know if that statistic is still true, but the sentiment is still the same. Water is extremely dangerous. You don't want to ever land in it with your paramotor. It's not good news. The other thing that's important about the power float is where you mount it on your paramotor. Obviously, if you mount it down by your butt, it's below your center of gravity, and if you were to go into the water, it's going to inflate and flip you upside down, holding your head under, defeating the whole purpose of trying to save your life. My preferred mounting point is along my shoulder straps. I feel like that's kind of close to my head, and if I were to go in, it's going to keep my head above water, kind of counteract any air that's in my fuel tank that might want to flip me over. Now, like I said, having a power float is not guaranteed to save your life. So on the topic of water landings, my third item is a hook knife. And like I said, a lot of times when pilots go into water, they report that your instinct is to start kicking, swimming, and you've got spaghetti lines all over the place, and next thing you know, you're hogtied, you can't move, and you're sinking. Looks like the old quarry is waking up. Little trucks driving around everywhere. Smells like freaking burnt rubber. Alright, number 4 on my list, and this is a big one, is the reserve parachute. Now, people have differing opinions about reserve parachutes depending on who you ask. My opinion, and I think probably the most popular opinion, is buy a reserve when you learn to fly as part of your whole kit. Install it, know how to use it, know how to maintain it, and just have it all the time. The idea is there's a ton of different reasons why you might have to throw your reserve. The big one is you take a collapse, your glider's unrecoverable, but you could also fly into some bad weather unexpectedly. You could have a collision with another paramotor pilot. You could have a gear failure, lines breaking, swing arms snapping, locks you in a spiral. Who knows? There's a plethora of different reasons why you might have to throw that dude. I would rather spend my entire flying career carrying around a reserve and never need it than to not carry it and have one sticky situation where I wish I had it. There we go. So my number 5 item is the strobe. As you guys may or may not know, as per FR 103, having a strobe allows you to fly 30 minutes after sunset, 30 minutes before sunrise. But aside from that cool benefit, I think it's a definite safety feature as well. Even if you're not going to be flying after sunset, I feel like having my strobe on at dusk as the sun is setting, I feel more visible to air traffic than I do just flying in broad daylight. Now there's a ton of different strobe options on the market, and to be honest, I think the majority of them are kind of underwhelming. I recently upgraded my strobe system from a single light source to an LED strip light, 24 volts that goes around my cage, has a big lithium battery, and it has a switch down by the right side of my fuel tank so I can turn it on and off. And that setup, I think, is highly visible, greater than 3 miles away. Alright, we're crossing the Sea of Fog on the way back to the LZ. Thankfully, the LZ is still completely not fogged in, which is always a good thing. I'll end this on kind of a sentimental, I don't know what to call it, note. Those 5 accessories might save your life, but the thing is, they're always there to like bail you out when you've made a mistake or something's gone wrong. The most important thing is to not get yourself into a dangerous situation where you need to rely on your reserve. Obviously, it's good to have it. Obviously, your brain makes the decision to carry it, but it's better to prevent the situation where you need to throw your reserve in the first place, and that comes from good decision making, educating yourself as much as you can. Like I said, if you can carry your reserve for your entire career and never have to throw it, that's pretty good. But don't ever be afraid to throw it. If it hits the fan, get that thing out there. Don't hesitate. Hey, buddy. Hey, how you doing? Oh.
Morning. Hi, buddy.
Was that a perfect landing?
I would say so.
Yeah, that
It
looked
was
good.
pretty all right.
Yeah, it looked fun. Was it cold up there?
Yeah, it was a little chilly.
Yeah.
It's getting there.
Were you out last night?
I wasn't.
Oh, so there was. I heard him at my house
Yeah.
flying around.
Yeah, I know a couple of my friends were.
Toby, come here, buddy.
Have a good day.
Thank you, you too. All right, so I guess that's about all she wrote. Beautiful morning of flying, beautiful fog situation. And the top 5 things: helmet, let's see if I can remember, power float, hook knife, reserve, and strobe. Those are 5 things that I have as part of my whole kit. If you guys want to hear a list of 5 or 10 other paramotor accessories, not necessarily safety related, but just things to think about buying, drop a comment, let me know if you want to see that. Drop a like if you enjoyed. I appreciate all your guys' support. I guess I'm gonna go get some breakfast. I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, peace.